What's going on, everybody? Snowy Sunday morning in Alberta here. So figured I would address a topic that I know is impacting a lot of Albertans and a lot of Canadians. That is inflation. Why is it happening? What the government proposes to do about it, and what they should actually do about it. So if you've been checking out the news at all, specifically the legacy media, they're probably telling you that rising costs are solely the fault of Putin. While there is probably some accuracy in this, in the fact that disruptions to the supply chain would impact costs, it is very ignorant to say that this one singular disruption in the supply chain over the past couple of weeks has overrode all of the poor government decisions regarding the supply chain over the past 2 years. So what is causing higher prices? What is pushing inflation? Simple. Liberal money printing and conservative lockdowns. So for any politician out there to be saying that they feel for you and they understand that prices are going up and it's a global thing that they can't do anything about, it's lies. All lies. Their decisions and their bad decisions directly impact these things, directly impact your bank accounts, your buying power, and your quality of life for your family. So, what do they propose to do about it? Coming up tomorrow, Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP party, is putting forward a motion calling on the Liberals to enact a, guess what? More tax. A 3% surtax on banks, insurers, and other companies such as oil and big box stores who have supposedly profited hugely over the past couple of years. Now, while these companies probably have, why is it? Why did the big box stores make a whole pile of money? Pretty simple. They were allowed to stay open and small businesses were closed. So again, more deflection from bad government policy is not going to, alleviate the fact that this is what happened over the past 2 years and got us to this point. So if we were to think 3% tax on excess profits. So in the past, they've never defined that, but now they do. It's profits over $1 billion. You think, okay, that's fine. Let's go tax these guys. Let's go tax these companies. Fortunately, it doesn't work that way. Businesses don't pay taxes. You're probably thinking, what is this guy talking about? But they don't. There are 3 groups that do pay taxes: shareholders or owners, employees, and the consumers. So what happens if you implement a 3% tax on excess profits? Now, owners not going to be happy that they're losing bottom end. So what are they going to do? They're going to push that expense on, presumably to the consumer. What happens if, this impacts the employee? Employees lose money by paying higher employment taxes. And consumers lose out by paying higher prices. So, irregardless of the fact that, government always likes to say that they, tax big business, it's never the business entity that pays it. It's either the owner that cuts the check for the taxes, the employee that pays it through higher employment taxes, or the consumer through higher prices. So tacking on another tax onto businesses in order to combat rising prices is just the most idiotic thing you could possibly ever do. Now, I did a quick bit of research. The motion will be in the House tomorrow, probably be a bit of a debate, then they'll vote on it. If the majority, i.e. more than 50% of MPs, vote in favor of said motion, then it becomes a non-binding agreement on the government. So, the motion is superficial. It might influence policy down the road, but it doesn't actually get the job done. It doesn't become law or anything like that. So, what should the government do? It's pretty simple. April 1st, they're going to get another pay raise. 338 MPs get the third pay bump in 3 years. Have you got 3 raises in the past 3 years? I know I haven't. Now, they'll probably sit here and say, oh, the previous government put it into place, or we can't do anything about it. Maybe some of them will donate it to charity. My question to them is, you were able to bring in the Emergencies Act on a peaceful protest in a matter of days. Pretty sure you could find a way to suspend your upcoming increase in wages. Can't be that hard. So that's number one. Number two, April 1st, same day, not April Fool's joke, carbon tax goes up. This will result in about 11 cents per liter additional cost to families across Canada. Now, I would personally like to see the entire tax scrapped. I mean, it's been in BC for a decade now. Emissions keep rising. Taxes have nothing to do with your environmental footprint. Whether gas goes up to $1.75, $2, $2.25, does that mean you're going to stop driving? I know for me it doesn't. I still have to go into work. I still have to try and eke out a living to support my family. So increasing the taxes is just going to further crush Canadians. I don't see that in Jagmeet's motion here. Nothing about reducing taxes to help improve costs on people. Instead, they take the opposite effect and add more taxes to undoubtedly add costs to people. So those are the two things that they could do in the near term. Wouldn't take a whole lot. Number two, and most importantly, and if anyone had any actual care or thought in mind for actual Canadians and helping people improve their standard of living, it would be to amend the tax code. It is a ridiculously long patchwork of papers, amendments, and if Jagmeet is truly concerned with the ultra-rich taking advantage of the tax code, it's not so much that they're loopholes, it's just that individuals that have more money to begin with have the ability to hire accountants and lawyers to implement plans to avoid tax. I don't know anyone that likes to pay tax. So if you have the means to avoid it, you're going to avoid it. There's nothing unlawful about it. You're working within the tax code and it is the way it is. But the family that makes, say, $60,000 does not have these same options available to them. They just have to collect their paycheck and see their purchasing power reduced on a regular basis. So that would be the long-term solution. Amend the tax code. For what? I don't know. A simple flat tax for everybody? Remove the income tax completely in favor of a consumption tax across the board? Do you know that we pay more taxpayer dollars in salaries to CRA agents than we do to border agents? We pay more money for the government to audit our tax returns than we do to protect our borders. You know, if that's an indication that the tax code needs to go, that's probably a good place to start. So that's inflation, rising costs in a nutshell. Why this opposition day motion from Jagmeet Singh sucks, and what the government would actually do if they had your best interest in heart. Peace.